Hello guys, welcome back to another video. This is going to be my introduction of the Syma S107G helicopter. I'll be going over the remote, the USB charging cable, the Syma S107G itself, and as well as the instruction manual. Nearly all RC helicopter, actually all products have an instruction manual, no matter if it's an RC helicopter or whatnot, so every single product does have it. But we're going to be going on to the Syma S107G itself first. Now, for those of you who are wondering, this is actually a coaxial helicopter. You basically have two counter-rotating main blades. This just helps with more better smooth flying, very stable flights is what it's mainly used for. Going on, we actually have a LED light right now, so we turn that on. Which I believe, and there you go, you have a alternating blue and red LED, which is a very nice touch. Only thing that I wish this thing did have was able to have an option to turn off the LED on or off, either during the day or whatnot, or whatever have you, so it's pretty cool. Now, we'll be going through the main components and all that, and I want to explain to you something that a lot of people have not known. So, first of all, this thing is completely made out of metal, except for everything is completely made out of metal. These parts right here, these two, and the canopy, and then these two were connected to stabilizers, are all made out of plastic, but the rest is all made out of metal. It's very sturdy design, and that's what helps it. You know, it's very lightweight material. This is very lightweight metal. They had to do that because this helicopter is so light, and they want to make sure they have the proper parts to, make sure that the thing is bolted, everything is bolted together really nicely, and to make sure that the helicopter is not too weighted or too heavy to be able to fly. So they came up with very light material, and also this is made out of plastic as well. You can tell it's a very good looking helicopter. Now this is a sport type helicopter. It's sporty looking because you can tell it has a sporty look to it. The canopy and tail boom and whatnot, those look really more sporty looking. Very good looking helicopter. Now, back in 2010, the 2010 version looks there's actually been two upgrades, or two major exceptions of what happened. So, right now, these two flybars, the wave flybars, were actually differently manufactured. They were more flatter and they were a little bit more fat, probably about a 1/4 inch thicker than these right here are. This is a 2014 or 2013 model, I believe. So, they've really improved that. I believe that was probably the reason why. I guess because since SEMA, since they're probably just trying to make sure that all their products, they upgrade them to make sure that everything is working properly and all that. So they were about a 1/4 inch longer. They were actually more flatter. They were more of a flat material. They were made out of plastic, and that's why. This thing is made out of really thick material, so that's why they did that. That's a really good upgrade. Now, going on with the LED, everything remains the same, except the circuit board back in 2010 was actually red instead of a yellow. And right now, we actually have an LED. Now, the LED, what they did, another upgrade that they did was the LED. The LED was not that very bright when the 2010 version came out, so they upgraded that to make it a lot more brighter so it can easily be seen at night and during the daytime as well. It's very visible during the daytime as well. Now, these are basically the two main components right here. It's very flexible, and this is very durable. The blades are very flexible as well, so you look like you won't be chipping a blade. Now, one thing I don't recommend is that the only time these things will break is if you're on if you're hitting some kind of metal object that can definitely damage the components. So I don't recommend any of that. But, if it's something on plastic, it's not going to be big of a deal because these things will actually survive tons of crashes. And these things can take plenty of beatings and all that. So it's really, really cool that SEMA really did a great job on this helicopter. That's a pretty much. Oh yeah. Now a third one. You see these 4 pegs on the bottom of the landing gear? Those really don't do a purpose, it's just for looks. Well, these 4 pegs were actually white, I believe, in 2010 version. Then later on in 2012, they changed them to, I believe that 2012 was the date that they changed everything around. and all that. So that's pretty cool. And also in the controller real quick. There was actually no spring. Or that, actually there was a spring on the 2010 version. But in 2012 they did upgrades to make sure that there's no LED or, you know, no spring in it. So that's good. It did have a spring, so you had to push it up and down. It just was not very good of them doing that. So SEMA has basically listened to their consumers, and they made sure that what they're doing will fix the issue that everybody's been having. So I'm glad that SEMA is really paying attention to their customers and all that. So that's really nice of them doing that. That's about it, really. Everything in Child's version remained the same. The canopy remained the same. The body itself remained the same. So everything was the same back in 2010. It's just these two fly bars were different. Then the LED was upgraded, and the 4 pegs were upgraded. So now let's go on to the USB charger. This is what I really liked about SEMA products. Never in my life, I used to own like several AirHog products, and they never even had a USB charger, and so you had to charge from the controller. But now, since SEMA really had paid attention, they finally include a USB. Now, this one does not have an overcharge protector on it. So you gotta make sure, as soon as this thing turns red, which, let me go on for that subject. So in order to charge it, you just charge it through any slot that has a USB on it. So if I just plug it here, for example, my mom's computer, you can clearly see. And I'm going to show you guys a little second. There you go. So this is red. Now, this will actually turn off. When you plug in the helicopter, this will turn, I believe, I'm trying to think. This will turn off. Then once it's fully charged, this light will go on. And that's when you tell it's fully charged, if that makes any sense to you. So we just plug it out. Now, for the controller, there's actually, you can either charge it from the controller, which takes about an hour to charge. If you're charging it from a USB, it will take about 40 to 45 minutes to charge. So I recommend using the USB charger just to make sure you don't drain the batteries. But also, it will take shorter for it to charge, which is always a good thing. So I think that basically covers everything. The one thing I really like, now the whole purpose SEMA was doing this was so that a lot of people don't want to waste their AA batteries in the controller, and this is a great alternative to that. There's like 2 different ways, but that's probably what I like about it. That's the thing I really love about SEMA products, is that will really reduce the operation costs on the controller, so you don't have to waste those AA batteries. So I think that's about it. I've recovered that. Now we're gonna go on to the controller now. Now it's pretty straightforward. This thing has no spring. So this is the 2015 version. This actually, I believe this is the current one. So it's ratcheted, so you leave it and that's where it will stay. That helps you hover and all that. It's pretty straightforward. And this is not a 4-channel, this is 3-channel. Now over here, you actually have your on and off switch, which is pretty cool. Over here, you have your A/B selector, which is pretty funny. The reason why I say funny is that there's actually 3 different models, basically. They have a red one, I believe the blue one, and the, okay. It's a red, blue, and yellow one. So, I think there's really supposed to be 3, but for whatever reason, this thing is not a 3-channel or a 3 ABC selector. It was supposed to put A, B, and C selector, but I really don't know why SEMA didn't do that. Even the newest model, which is the newest model, but the newer model doesn't have that. None of them really had it. I believe that the 2010 version might have had it, but I'm not quite sure on that. So, you know. And also, write down, now these buttons don't do nothing. This is infrared, so you only can use these indoors. Now, I did actually test it outside during nighttime. It flies a lot more better because, you know, the sun is down. You have no interference between the infrared signal. And I tried it outside. It works pretty good. And I recommend for you doing that. As long as it's nighttime, I recommend doing this when it's pitch black outside to avoid any sun rays from getting on the controller to cause them to mess up the signal. And you could crash your helicopter relatively quickly. It would just fall out of the sky. So, over here you have your steering column. This is forward, backwards, left, and right. and you can just move it in any direction, so you can do all of them in one time. It says gyro systems, top braking, remote control. This is top braking. That means it's probably the top braking. And later on the line, you know, they sell these from countless online retailers. You can buy them from Amazon, eBay, all those others, Banggood. I mean, all those companies sell all of them. But now, if you're I really don't shop on eBay. I think that I looked on YouTube. A lot of people have actually got counterfeit products. You know, colognes that are fake colognes that don't really fly, or they don't fly at all. Which I don't know what the difference between that is. They've been getting a lot of counterfeit products that have just been repackaged and rebuilt and all that. Now, I like purchasing on Amazon for a very specific purpose, and that specific purpose is for one really good reason, and that reason is when you buy something on Amazon, you're less likely that that's going to be a counterfeit product. And I believe that Amazon actually automatically shut down any accounts that were selling counterfeit products, and that's why I prefer Amazon, since they're my preferred Amazon. You know, they're like my preferred online retailer, really. And that's the only place I like to shop, and they make a really good deal on it. I believe I got this one for about $19.99. It's a very good deal, and plus it was on Amazon Prime, so I didn't have to pay tax or shipping at all, so that's really good. That's about it. Now, over here, we're going to go through the instruction manual, then I'm going to have to end the video. It's only been 11 minutes long. So going on, this is out the instruction manual itself. It's the SEMA 3.5 channel gyro system, S107G, alloy infrared remote control helicopter. It just tells you all the parts and all that, or what comes in the package. And it's very respectable, really. It's very well, it's read in English, so everything is read very correctly. It tells you all about it. Now, these things can be purchased. These are all the spare parts, so you can actually buy separately and all that. So I believe you can actually call. Now, I'm not quite sure if you guys can actually tell me what you know, if SEMA does have a you know, a customer support line. If you guys can let me know in the comment section below, that'd be great. I really don't know. But anyways, if you do have their customer support number, you can actually call them in and they'll ship you these blades. And these parts are shipped in the United States. So they ship these and have them shipped to your door as soon as possible. After you get a valid payment option, obviously, because you have to purchase these. Right now we have our canopies, you know, spare parts and all. You can clearly see. I don't really have to read them out, but they're all there. And, anyways, it's very respectable, so, you know, it's really cool that they have included a instruction manual. Now, a lot of people really don't know. Most people would say that, who cares about the instruction manual? Now, if you're a little kid that's about 8 years old, you might want to make sure that you ask your parents to read this off to you, to make sure, you know, this is a 14, now the recommended age limit is about 14 and up. So if you're under 8, then you do have to be supervised by an adult, obviously, so to make sure that you're not going to get hurt and all that. So now this helicopter is also for beginners and intermediate pilots, or expert pilots rather. It's a great looking helicopter. And anyways, I think that's about it. I didn't really include the box, but I'm going to be putting that through a separate video hopefully. And yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys later. Peace out.